I noticed it in the silence, not in the fights. In the way he touched me only when the world was asleep. When no one could see, when I had already learned not to expect anything more. During the day, I walked beside him like a shadow, present but unnoticed, answering questions no one asked, smiling at someone who wasn't really there. At night, his hands found me easily, like muscle memory, like routine, and I stayed still, wondering how something could feel so close and so empty at the same time. He never asked how my day was, never asked what I felt, but he always knew when he wanted me, and that contrast started to hurt more than the silence. Sometimes I stared at the ceiling, counting breaths, thinking, when did affection turn into access? When did love become a moment instead of a presence? I tried to talk once, softly, carefully, choosing every word like it might explode, and he sighed, impatient, like emotions were an inconvenience. Why do you always complicate things? He said, not realizing I was only asking to be seen. After that, I learned to swallow my questions, to store my needs in quiet places, to pretend that wanting more was selfish. But my body knew before my mind admitted it. Something was wrong, something was missing, something was breaking slowly. If you've ever felt this confusion, this ache you can't quite explain, stay with me.
Ever felt this kind of loneliness within a relationship? Please take a second to subscribe. These stories are for you.
I watched him laugh with others, engage, listen, care, and I wondered why the best parts of him never reached me. At home, words were short, looks were brief, but the expectation was clear, like my role had already been decided without my consent. I began to feel guilty for my own discomfort, telling myself I was dramatic, sensitive, ungrateful, until the loneliness became undeniable. Being alone didn't scare me, but being alone next to someone who claimed to love me, that terrified me. Some nights when he reached for me, I closed my eyes, not to feel more, but to feel less. I missed conversations, laughter, shared silence, the kind that feels safe, not heavy. And the truth arrived quietly one night, not as a scream, but as clarity. I wasn't chosen, I was convenient. That realization hurt, but it also woke something inside me that had been asleep for too long. For the first time, I asked myself a different question. What would my life feel like if I stopped shrinking? If you're listening to this and your chest feels tight, hear me. Love is not something that only appears in the dark. Affection is not a favor, and your presence deserves more than routine. You are not difficult for wanting connection. You are not wrong for needing warmth, and you are not asking too much by wanting to be loved in the light. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stop accepting less than you deserve. Some loves don't end with screams or doors slamming. They end in quiet exhaustion. In the moment you realize you've been shrinking just to fit into someone else's comfort. If this story touched something inside you, know this. Love should never make you disappear. Desire should never replace care. And silence should never be the price of staying. You are allowed to want more. You are allowed to step into the light. And one day, the version of you who survived this will thank you for choosing yourself, even when it felt lonely to do so.